A top Republican charges campaign foul play in the re-indictment of Caspar Weinberger. Hecklers disrupt a Berlin rally that was called to oppose racist violence. And New York State's top judge is under arrest, accused of extortion. This is the CBS Evening News. Good evening, I'm Connie Chung. President-elect Bill Clinton plans to hold a summit of economists, business leaders, and others to discuss the economy. And according to his aides, he will establish a special economic security council at the White House. But Mr. Clinton's day of transition planning was clouded by a Republican charge about the campaign just passed. Richard Threlkeld is in Little Rock.
Hey, Governor. Good morning, Governor.
For a dozen years, Governor Bill Clinton jogged the streets of Little Rock alone and unescorted. Now that he's president-elect, it's a happening, and he's beginning to chafe at the gaggle of media that follows him everywhere, even to McDonald's.
Oh, he's up. You want to get outside, Yeah, I mean, I don't want 1,000 people in there. I just want to go get a cup of coffee.
Can we hold the press out?
Back in Washington, meantime, the Republicans charged the Democrats with foul play in the days before the election. Senator Bob Dole claimed there may have been collusion between the Clinton-Gore campaign and Special Prosecutor Lawrence Walsh, who on October 30th brought an indictment against former Defense Secretary Caspar Weinberger in the Iran-Contra affair. It included a memo mentioning then Vice President Bush.
And it seems to me it was outrageous that they would have this indictment of Weinberger with a note sort of bringing George Bush into the loop the Friday before the election. I think there ought to be an investigation.
Dole offered as evidence this Clinton campaign news release dated October 29th, the day before the indictment was handed down. Clinton himself did not comment on the charge as he attended church this morning, but campaign officials insisted there'd been no contact with the special prosecutor and that the date on the press release was a typographical error. Walsh also denied communicating with the Clinton campaign. Dole also claimed that James Brosnahan, a new member of Walsh's team, had previously contributed to the Democratic campaign, something that's perfectly legal.
And Mr. Brosnahan, who's now prosecuting the Weinberger case, gave $500 to Bill Clinton. His law firm gave $20,000.
Clinton's transition team, meantime, is eager to get on with forming up the new administration. Transition Director Warren Christopher said today Clinton's cabinet appointments will likely be announced in December.
As far as the order in which they'll come, that'll be up to Governor Clinton, but I think it's probably safe to say that with the emphasis he's given to the economic sector, the economic cluster will take a high priority.
It's unlikely the Clinton administration is going to press matters like Iran-Contra or Iraqgate, for that matter. They're planning on offering the American people a full menu of change. Those other things they regard as leftovers. Connie?
All right, thank you, Richard Threlkeld. President Bush still has to deal with a full plate of matters before Inauguration Day. Randall Pinkston has that story.
President Bush may be a lame duck, but events at home and abroad won't allow him to stand still in his final 2 months in the White House. Topping his priority list, the growing confrontation with the European community over its trade subsidies to farmers. Trade ministers have been meeting throughout the weekend in London to find a response to a U.S. threat to impose a $300 million tariff on French white wine. Acting Secretary of State Lawrence Eagleburger hopes the showdown will force Europe to reduce agricultural subsidies.
The EC needs to get its act together, and if they get their act together, it would seem to me we ought to be able to get it settled.
Also high on the president's to-do list, the stalled Mideast peace talks. The parties return to Washington tomorrow. The president must keep his eye on the continuing bloodshed in the former Yugoslavia, as well as the uncertainty over Saddam Hussein's military ambitions. And on the domestic front, the president is being urged to consider pardons for